Welcome to the Ross Nada podcast. This is Ian.
This is Jeremiah.
And I'm Noah.
We've had some technical difficulties.
Ian's a little bit tilted right now. He's been having a rough day.
I've been having some rough ones. Let me tell you what's been going on, because I got a nice TV. I got a nice TV for the first time in my life. I've never had a nice TV. I got really excited. I set up my wires. I'm going to be drilling a hole through the wall to connect it to my nice gaming PC and do a lot of my watch shows on here, play games out here if they're like not as latency intensive as fighting games, because I want to be hardwired for everything there. And then 3 days after purchasing it, I'm flashing back. It's 2011. I think it's before 2011. And my Xbox 360 just red ringed of death. And this expensive, nice TV is dumpster ready. I'm furious, and I'm very much hoping that tomorrow morning when I wake up, they honor the warranty, and I'm not just left with a big piece of glass.
I think you should go on Sunday and come to BT15 pre-release.
You want me to come to pre-release?
Yeah.
And risk the roll the dice?
Go on Sunday.
That's so stressful to think that this TV could actually just end up being dumpster food.
What? How long's the warranty on this TV?
I got it from a place that I'm not happy that I got it from, but my dad's like, I know the owner, we should get it from them rather than somewhere reputable like Best Buy. So, okay, fine, let's get it from this, this back alley.
I love it.
Sketchy guy.
I love it.
And he's like, you got 2 days to come back and tell me there's an issue. I said, no worries. I'll go home. I'll check it right now. We tested it. Perfectly good. It worked for 3 days.
All right. Then,
and on the third day, God woke. Jesus rose.
No, that's a pretty common thing, right? Like if you buy an external hard drive, the warranty lasts for 2 to 3 years, and that's about when they crap out.
Yeah. So
Wait,
I think I can.
Hard drive.
Yeah.
Wait, don't tell me that.
It's pretty common. What kind of external hard drive do you even have?
SSD.
But brand? Or
what I meant brand, because just recently Western Digital went through a huge lawsuit.
I'm willing to bet, before Jeremiah gives his answer, I'm willing to bet that he said, what's the cheapest? Jeremiah, thoughts?
Dude, what was that? Come on. Low blow, man.
True or false?
It's probably not even like a regular brand. It's like PGA.
He's Amazon Basics.
Yeah.
Amazon Basics is pretty good. No, I just went to Canada Computers. My friend recommended me one, so I went in with an item that I was supposed to get.
Sure.
And I got a good one.
An external hard drive. You got recommended an external hard drive.
Yeah, he just said this is the one I use, so he sent me the link.
Okay.
And then I bought it and forgot what it was, so I couldn't tell you.
Alrighty.
I love it. Yeah, anyways, I'm very much hoping that
if you go tomorrow and they don't honor the
you'll pay for my pre-release?
You're gonna be so mad that you didn't come to the pre-release. You're gonna be like, what a waste of time.
I'm gonna go buy a coffee table that can convert into a dining room table after.
You buying high quality Transformers?
Yeah, exactly.
What is that? A coffee table that converts into a dining room table.
Dude, well, it's because I want to put it here, where the couches are, and then I want to raise it and make it a card game table.
Yeah, you should buy a Hummer that turns into a robot.
You know what I was thinking? I have never seen any of the Transformers.
Michael Bay Transformers, yeah.
And I feel like I should watch one.
You have to. You have to watch the first.
They have a lot of explosions.
I have no interest in explosions. I barely have an interest in cars, and I
guess they're they're not nostalgic for you, so you won't care.
I like Transformers as a kid. I loved them.
Yeah, no,
I'm
just saying that you don't, dude. It's different. They're not Transformers. They're weird. They're fucking weird.
I got hit with my dad had a very boomer take from me the other day, because he was he was hitting me with the classic back when men were men.
Oh god.
And he was like, yo,
dad boomer take.
He's like, hey, Ian, why don't you care about cars? And I was like, why would I care about a car?
Nice.
And he's like, because don't you think cars are cool and they got big engines and I'm like, no, it gets me from point A to point B.
Just so all the listeners at home know, Ian drives a G-Wagon.
I don't. I currently driving.
Don't.
I currently don't. I've actually permanently switched.
Permanently.
You know what? The maintenance costs were too high. It wasn't really worth justifying for the luxury of driving around a fancy car.
I'm so sad about
that's
that.
not what it was for.
What?
It was for you to have nice legroom.
The Toyota Highlander also has a surprisingly large amount of legroom, so that's why I was like, I'm willing to make.
Is that your new car?
Yeah.
What's the license plate number?
I actually don't know.
That's not good.
Do you have your license plate memorized?
I have mine memorized.
I'm not gonna say it. But
I definitely the entire time I was driving around the wagon, I just had a picture of it on my phone, the license plate, and I checked it when I needed it.
It's what, 7 total things you need to remember? 7
digits or characters. I don't know. I hold a lot of passwords and passcodes in my head. I'm like, if I can avoid taking on another one, I will.
Hey, what do you guys want to talk about?
Oh yeah, are we supposed to have a topic today? I was gonna hang out because I'm cheese because of my red ring of death situation.
Yeah, we were honestly gonna cancel this episode today.
Yeah, I kind of.
Ian was gonna call me on my drive up here that I was saying the whole time, man, I wish I wasn't driving to Ian's right now.
Would it make it better or worse if I said I wanted to cancel at like 6 p.m.? I wanted to give you so much heads up. And then Jeremiah said, Ian, please don't. He said, no, we'll be so sad.
I'm so mad at Jeremiah right now. You don't even know. Because you want to know what he's doing right now? He's taking a nap.
He's so unconscious. Why are you so bad at sitting?
I'm fine. I'm comfortable.
I think we need to give him like a work chair again.
We have to give him an electric chair.
What are we talking
Every
about?
once in a while, we'll give him a little shocky shock.
What are we talking about?
I
You
mean,
guys want to just hang out? But
Well, we're gonna hang out. Well, I'll present it and then I'll cut it if we never get around to it. We're gonna talk about the new player experience.
yeah, beginning experience.
Because we've all at some point in our lives started playing Digimon, and of course, all at some point of our lives stopped playing Digimon.
I didn't start. I was born.
You
into
didn't
it.
start and you didn't stop.
I was born into it.
Fair
I
enough.
never started. It always has and always will.
Well,
for me.
I've played a lot of different card games growing up, and like getting into a card game
Yeah, you're a Bakugan fan.
at different points in my life, right? Like you guys collected cards as kids, but like,
No, I didn't.
you know,
Did you?
I collected playing cards.
Playing
I
cards,
don't know.
like
you guys,
like
you
a
guys
Jack
actually
of
didn't
Spades.
collect
Like
trading
bicycle?
cards as a kid.
I actually did collect bicycles. I actually
He
for a
did
while
collect cards as a kid.
for a while I wanted to have a big collection of playing cards.
Yeah.
I own like probably like 40 decks of cards from like different places. A lot of them bicycle brand. A lot of like custom ones that I've gotten at different points. But I just realized at a certain point that any kind of collection hobby like that, there's no end in sight and there's no real reward for like having a big collection. It's just like all you can do is just make the collection bigger, and it gets to a size where you go, I can't present it nicely.
And
Yeah,
the
but you can
biggest
look at it.
problem for me was that I got these playing cards because I loved the look of them.
Yeah.
And I would never take them out.
You don't want to play with them, yeah.
Because
You should have started triple sleeving.
Yeah, exactly. Well, okay. This is a.
Have you started about sleeving your bicycles?
Since playing Digimon and becoming a paper TCG player,
Yeah.
every single time I play a board game or something with
You wanna
cards,
sleeve it.
I want those cards sleeved.
I know. I'm right there with you, man.
Let's sleeve up my Monopoly money.
Yeah, so you know, I've played card games at all kind of stages of my life. Definitely playing card games as an adult is the most realistic, but it's also probably, I'd say, the least rewarding experience.
Why you don't like beating children?
Well, I think just getting into games as an adult, you kind of like understand cards more, at least for me, because I like already had a lot of
You just didn't get the
exposure.
game as a kid. You just kind of like.
I
threw it
mean, I
around?
didn't get Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid. No,
I have
no
never been a
kid
child.
You've never be a child.
No.
You're missing out.
It's good.
There are no kids that show up to Digimon.
There's
Yeah,
no
they're
kids in
scared.
Yu-Gi-Oh. But there's
I
a
heard
lot
one
of
kid showed up once.
Bucket hat kid.
that guy was
There's
awesome.
one guy in our community to cover my bases. There's one guy in our community whose name I actually don't remember, and he was my favorite guy because we'd show up to locals, and he would say, "My deck has no cards that can save me except one," and then he'd draw his card with two fingers, and then look at it and go, "Again." And then he would either play the card to his field or put it in his hand and just be like, "You're lucky this time."
This had to be a Dark Fox.
It was, of
This
course.
was not
it was.
happening in Black Knight.
No, he was my favorite guy. He came to every tournament in a bucket hat, and I only saw him at like, let's say 5 or 6 locals, but like
Yeah, I have no recollection of this person. So
I think Dark Fox tends to draw out. I say this with a lot of love, a lot more of the cringier side of the card game community,
the freaks and not the geeks.
the freaks and not the geeks. Exactly.
Guys, I'm not a part of that.
Wait, what?
I don't agree with that sentiment.
That Dark Fox has a lot of the weirder players.
Yeah. I don't
Well,
like
I mean,
that.
just by numbers alone, it has to.
Yeah,
So I think last week I was at Black Knight, or this week, and we had 6 people there.
mhm. We've just given up any pretense of not doxing ourselves, eh?
Let's just be cool with it.
I never.
I've been trying to get Black Knight to sponsor me. So
Yeah, Jeremiah,
I gotta
where do you
mention
work
him on
again?
the podcast.
Where do I work?
Where do you
again?
work?
I currently don't.
Ooh,
I work
classic
out of,
Digimon
Why
player.
do you
I
think
work
he's
out of
ready
my
to
own
fall asleep on your
pockets, bro.
couch? He's like the first time I've had something comfortable in a month. He's homeless right now, just so everyone knows.
Wow, that's wild. It's wild that he was able to get on the GO train down here.
Bro,
So if
what?
anyone can donate him Terrier Mons from the new starter deck, he'd really appreciate it.
What's
fuck
the
is this bad?
secret rare that he's looking for?
BT16 Rapidmon X.
Rapidmon X.
Dude, you guys are.
You're such a believer, eh?
What is this content right
Wait, what do you mean?
You guys are just calling people I'm homeless now.
We had to cover up your lame. I'm not a part of this because people are going to get offended.
Yeah, because
Because what? Wow.
nobody's going to be offended. If you're offended, go visit Jeremiah at his house and he'll fight you.
He doesn't have one.
He's built,
That's the joke.
What the fuck?
he's built like Angemon. He's just like he just lives in the sky.
I have gone
He's still going.
twice this year, I think, which is probably close to the amount that I went last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I went because I was doing some practice for nationals. I'm a little bit bummed out because looking at other stores not in the area, it's a little bit of a drive to get to them.
Yeah,
They're living the life. The local stores in Ian's area, they are living it
they're
up.
they're kind of popping off a little
They're
bit.
making me pay less and giving me more. And I'm like, why don't we hold Hamilton to a higher standard?
Well, we talked about this earlier. Like, it's so awkward when we say, like, oh, support your local game store. But if your local game store sucks, should you still support it?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't have an easy answer. Like,
You're just mad that they kicked you out of your karate dojo.
yeah, exactly. No, I just think that, like, if you're going to advertise pricing, you should honor it. If you're going to charge a certain cost and say, oh, here, you get a box topper, you have to hand that box topper out. You can't shuffle up your packs and then say, we're going to take out the good cards and leave you the bad ones.
I have never been a big member of the Dark Box community or even the Digimon community.
I don't think that's true.
In this area, I don't feel like I've been a big member of it.
Sure.
Or maybe the words I'm trying to look for, because I don't feel like a community member.
You don't feel like you are bound to your city. You feel like you're a part of the larger Canadian or North American Digimon community.
Yeah. Like, I'm that edgy guy that shows up and has no friends.
Do you have a bucket hat?
Yeah, I do.
Hit me with your...
So I've never really felt like someone who could kind of speak to the issues of that store other than grumpily, like, ranting about it.
Yeah.
Instead of actually, having a voice and being someone that could make a change. But I do think that the general community should kind of get together and talk about these things and talk about what they want from the store. Because I know recently, and good for them, the store put out a survey asking what they want from the community or what the community wants from them.
Yeah.
They had like questions about pricing, whether or not they want to prize out X and 1 or pack per win and what night of the week. And the community voted for pack per win, and that's what they're going to stick to. That's what they were doing. But I think it goes beyond those things. And I think that it'd be really great if they expanded on that. And if the community kind of got together and talked about it as well.
Yeah, you're right. There is a lack of like community action, but like it's hard because like, is it the community's responsibility to call out bad practices, or is it the store's responsibility to not commit bad practices in the first place?
Yeah, I think it's the community's responsibility, but I will always be annoyed when people get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So, for example, there's this scam going on right now in Digimon.
Oh yeah, you were posting about this. What's going on here?
People are just posting very bad photoshops of cards for sale.
Yeah.
And it's the one that really cracks me up is it's a Raremon that the stock photo was just taken like off the internet and posted 4 times as like a playset. And it's off the internet because it's got that weird like rainbow foil.
Yeah.
That pictures of it that
that are used to depict the idea of foils but aren't reflective of the actual foiling.
Right. And that's what it is. And it's so funny to me. And we've seen one posted in our community where it was an actual card that was photoshopped 4 times because you can actually see the reflection, but each card has the exact same reflection on it.
Yeah.
And it upsets me to think that people are getting got by this. Like they're being taken advantage of. So I do want to say like it's on them, not the community to not be taken advantage of, but it's on these people to not take advantage of them.
Yeah, there's a dual-sided responsibility.
But I think that's too naive. So what I think in this situation, I think it comes down to the community to hold the stores to these practices. And in the scam situation, I think it's, again, the community's responsibility to make people aware.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when you're playing Digimon and someone's getting away with an improper ruling. Yeah. Or misplaying, but they pass it off as they didn't know. And especially when you catch it at top tables and you know that they've gotten people with this all day long.
Yeah.
It's upsetting to think about because this person has stolen wins from so many people and they're not being punished for it. And the only reason they're being caught right now is because you know better.
Yeah.
And it's just upsetting that happens.
Yeah. The reality is like the people who lose out are the people who are the most vulnerable. Like somebody who's less acquainted with the game or its niche rulings is a lot more likely to get cheated out of a win by somebody lying about the ruling than somebody who knows it very well and maybe if they can judge tests.
Well, a little story from Nationals.
Yeah, okay.
Hassan came up to me and said he faced against a Mirage Galgamon player.
Yeah.
And Hassan has a big beef with Mirage Galgamon. He does not like the deck.
Yeah, okay.
He thinks it's a little overtuned. But
he plays Red Hybrid, right?
Yeah, he plays Red Hybrid.
Let the man swing in.
That's so funny.
And he comes up to me and says, he starts listing off all these things that the Mirage Galgamon player was doing to him. Trying to play out Autonomous with the Galgamon that plays it while he already had one. Trying to swing with jamming while he didn't have more sources. Trying to evade with BT11 Mirage who doesn't have evade. Just various different things that he was at a top table. This was, I think, at this point, Hassan was 6-0.
Yeah.
And this was his first loss of the day.
King shit.
And it's upsetting to me because Hassan was catching this, but this person had obviously been taking advantage of people all day long.
Well, and there's something more to be said that it becomes a mental stack that Hassan has to use.
Yeah.
Because this person's trying to cheat him.
And I told him, and this goes back to something we've talked about before.
Call
a judge.
Yeah.
Because this person will get warnings, and eventually, Hassan came up to me later, and I was not able to verify this, and nor did I. It wasn't in my mental faculties. Like, I didn't care enough. But he told me he got kicked out. Not Hassan.
Oh, the player?
The player got kicked out for cheating or something. I'm like, yeah, he probably was cheating all day long, and that's why you call a judge. And it's annoying because Hassan lost to him, but it's not like he gets that win back. That's just permanent. There's a loss on his record because a player cheated against him, and same with 6 other players there.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, and it's one of those times where someone takes advantage of you if you don't know better. So it's why my number one advice to new players is learn the rules. It's the number one thing that's.
We have a song.
Yeah.
Too.
But it's not like basic rules like that.
No, it's niche interactions, and like I think that is fundamental, but it's also hard because I think that like a lot of people who try and learn rules outside of their context, like not seeing it in the wild, will be overwhelmed with like, okay, so I have to go through at this point 16 sets plus EX sets of history in order to understand niche interactions with cards. That's a lot to put on a new player.
Yep. Taylor was actually saying to me today that she thinks she would play the game if she didn't have to learn all these different cards.
Like if she started in BT1.
Yeah, I guess that's what she's saying. But basically what she was saying was that if she just had the knowledge that I have now of like what all the cards do, because I look at a card and I know what it does. And I told her that wasn't entirely true because what was the latest EX?
EX5.
EX5 Metal Edamon. I have no clue what it does. I could not tell you.
Yeah.
I know it's yellow black.
I like the art. It looks pretty.
The art makes me feel bad. He's holding the Mamimon in a way that really makes me feel bad for that Mamimon. He's got the Mamimon in his palm, and the Mamimon's limbs are just like dangling out from in between his fingers. Yeah. And I just feel so bad for him.
That Edamon is so sick. That is such a sick artwork, honestly.
But it's just, I can't imagine how daunting it is for
somebody to say how many thousands of cards do I have to learn to start playing. Well, I mean, we're kind of dancing around it. I think we should like get into the meat of it. Like what we said it before, but I started the game in BT5. Noah, you started in
BT4.
And then Jeremiah is an odd case, an odd little duckling.
I started Digimon in BT8.
You started in BT1.
But yeah, well, okay, so when the game was being previewed, a couple of Vanguard players were showing it around because like it's another game where you stack guys on top of other guys. So I was like, yeah, I'll play that.
Wait, I want to cut in real quick. Is that what Vanguard players look for? Other games where you stack cards on
each other?
Dude, is that what really draws you in about Vanguard?
Dude, Redakai goes crazy. You guys ever played Redakai before?
Jeremiah likes Digimon because he wanted to find a game where he could cover his inheritables with every card he plays down. And that's why how Jeremiah plays in Raising.
What?
I've seen you. You stack cards directly on top of each other and raising all the time.
Because, bro, if it's not coming out.
But I want to see what's there.
Okay, read it.
Then show it.
I'll pass it to you. I just want more space on my
No,
field.
but just spread out your cards.
I will
They should
when it
all
comes
be
into...
visible and
I
legible.
do.
No, this
dude.
is what
Oh
you're saying
my
right now is the
God.
same logic behind
Side stacking.
Guys, I do that.
It's side stacking.
You called me out on it and I fixed it. I don't do it anymore. But the justification... Stop.
You didn't start here. You started with get over it, and then now you've changed but also it's over.
No, but I will say, I said, listen, you want me to not obscure information for your benefit, I'll do it because you asked me to. But the truth is, I think that setting up in the back area, in the raising area, your effects don't touch me.
No,
So
but
I don't care.
It matters about my board state because I'm preparing for what you're going to be bringing up.
Sure.
Here's the perfect thing. Jeremiah believes that it is your fault that you got scammed, not his fault that he tried to scam you.
I
No.
was just about to
What
say
the
that.
fuck
I'm
is
happy
this?
that it relates to what we were just talking about.
What the fuck is this? I'm saying that, listen, you're going to play from your discard pile at some point, you bitch ass. Spread that out. I want to see it. Show me every card in your discard
You know
pile.
what's
All
funny?
42
I often do.
You know what's funny is back when I played Bellstar in BT6, I would put a separate discard pile that was spread
For your
out.
7 and
And
for my 7
and people do that.
And no, people get so mad. And
They get really
they would call a
angry.
judge and say it wasn't allowed.
Oh, I know, like, machine players will put aside their cyborgs and shit. I don't think that's a problem.
I'm just saying it like really took up popularity when Bellstar
But here's
came
the
out.
thing.
Yes.
And since then it's become more normalized. But back in the day, spreading out your trash, people did not like it.
But you're not consistently going... Okay, anyways, in terms of this justification, you're not always going into your trash to play out cards, even though you have the ability to. And if I ever want to know what's in there that you might bring out, I'll just ask to see the pile and you hand it to me and I'll scroll through. It's the same idea with my raising area where, like, you're not... I'll play with it. I'll bring it out when it's relevant. You'll see the effects. If you want to know the effects before bringing it, you can check it out.
Your argument
it's in the
applies
back-
to the field too. Your exact argument can apply to the field.
Well, but the effects are active on the field. They're not effective.
Right,
in
so
raising.
all you
There
have to
are
do is
effects
ask
that are
to see
there.
them.
Number one, there are effects that are active in raising. Do you think Royal Knights shouldn't reveal their
Oh
breeding
my
zone?
god! Okay, listen, they're changing.
And second of
they're
all,
moving
next,
the goalpost
next
on
turn,
this one.
next turn that card is coming out. This turn, I need to know what's under it.
So read it.
So reveal it.
No, but
Well, I
what we're
will.
saying is that same.
It should
logic-
not be my responsibility to tell you to play by the rules.
In which is why you told me about it and I've changed it.
But then why are you defending it? Then say my bad. Just say, hey, my bad. I was doing it wrong. Yeah, you're right. That was shitty. I get it.
It's not that bad. I think in context,
You get to pick one. Either one, it was bad and therefore I changed it, or two, it was good and unfair that I had to change it.
I think no, because listen, I'm a fan of playing towards the rules, and
Sit up a bit.
if you're always playing with my trash revealed, then you know everything that's coming out of my trash.
I think
what if
you
I'm
just
not
have to
going?
take this L, man.
I don't know why
I'm
you're
okay taking
defending
the
this.
L. I've literally already done it, but
No, just stop defending it then.
I don't think it's that bad.
Just go back to the Vanguard
I think
story.
listen. If you're gonna put stuff, if you're gonna side stack and raising and actually like omit information that is relevant on field, on board at the current moment, I think that's really bad.
But you can just ask. Is your whole point?
Yeah, you can just ask, but when it's on the field, I shouldn't have to ask. It's on the field. When it's in my raising area, you're not gonna touch it. It doesn't matter.
Inbreeding is still on field for the purposes of my knowledge.
Sure, and in which case, I've put together a stack for you, and I will gladly show you all of the inheritables.
I can't believe you're defending this.
Yeah.
I've built I'm literally telling you what I do, but I'm saying that I prefer the room that I get from scrunching that up and just stacking the cards on top
Then
of each
side
other
stack.
in the breeding area. Side stacking just gives you the space. It takes space away from the other side. It doesn't matter.
Dude, you're either stacking up in raising or you're playing tamers. You're not doing both. So you either have room to stack sideways or you don't need the room upwards.
Bro, I want the room to hard play stuff on my board in front of my raising area.
Just go back to
This is too much of a segment. I don't like
back
this.
to hearing about Digimon.
Yeah, so how did you hear about Digimon? Back in the world where he was playing by the rules of the game as depicted in Vanguard.
Okay. Stacking cards, cool concept. Stacking little Digimons, that's even better. Okay? So I check out Digimon. I played back in like BT1, BT2, BT3, and then I like did not touch the game after that. Until I was like, oh, I saw Kazuchimon and I saw Rasenmon. I said, maybe this card game is worth worth a damn. And then I saw the alt arts and was like, all right, I'll start playing.
That was
And
BT7.
Yeah, but I only found out about them in BT8 because, like I said, I hadn't like paid attention to the game for like 4 sets. I think BT3 was like coming out in Japanese, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
So yeah, so you joined.
So it was, like,
I
end
met
of
you
BT2.
pretty early, and you coming to the scene again, right?
Yeah, BT8. Like you met me like my second week.
or
I
third?
went and stayed with Maddie for a bit.
Yeah.
You guys
when
want to
she was in
something sad?
university. What?
Yeah.
I remember when my life events happened based around sets of Digimon.
No,
That's
no.
fun.
When was your engagement? What set was that?
BT13.
Oh, let's go.
To be fair, a lot of stuff happened in BT13. It was a 5-month set.
Damn, dude.
That's
What happened when?
No, I think
mine
that
was-
you have like problems sometimes,
Like mental problems.
like problems with Digimon, and like
That's
your
that's
feelings
pretty
towards
crazy.
it.
Man.
Oh, it's that picture that Beat Shoy posted today. Oh, that's his first time on the podcast. That picture
you're
that
right.
he posted today. I don't know if you saw it, but
no one else
Jeremiah
has
loved it.
no one else has context.
No,
for
I'm about
this.
to go into it.
Okay.
But I was laughing
Listen.
I was laughing so hard when sometimes I'll see something that makes me laugh so hard that it's not, to me, writing LOL is a disservice to it. I actually
do you think writing LOL is like it's a level of respect, but it's not enough respect?
I think writing
It's
LOL
not
for
hitting
me
an F.
is like throwing it away, you know? Like,
Listen, here-
haha, that was funny. I wrote, that made me laugh, and that's how funny it was. I took the time to
You're
write,
such
that
a
made me laugh.
Facebook mom.
Thinking about it now has made me forget why I was talking.
That's
Because
great.
it's
Wow.
so funny
Okay,
to me.
can I bring us back to something? Because
Oh, yeah, I remember now. Because
interesting.
all
Ian
I
can't
think about
talk.
is Digimon.
Oh, you
You go-
do you think about Digimon too much?
I like Digimon.
You're allowed to like
It's okay.
Digimon.
Back in high school, I did the same thing with Vanguard. Dude. You'll mellow out. You'll grow up a bit,
The truth is, I probably am not as cringy about Digimon as you were about Vanguard in high school.
dude. I'm
You
cringe.
were-
I'm
you were
cringe
pretty
about
bad.
Vanguard now,
Yeah, you sound like you were pretty bad back in high school.
dude. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
you're just growing. You're trying to figure yourself out in high school. Like I had no fucking clue.
Were
who
you
I
awkward in
was.
high school?
Dude, yeah, of course, man. Who wasn't awkward? In
I
high
was an
school?
Omega Chad.
I play.
I wasn't. I almost died. Oh yeah, we
Damn,
haven't talked
yeah.
about that in the podcast.
You don't have to tell this personal story.
Was
if
that
you
in
don't
high
want to.
school? Were you 15? I always think
I
you
was
were
15.
13.
No, I was 15. I was 15.
I thought it
I
happened
skipped
when you
like
were
the second half of grade 10 because my heart exploded, and then
And now you're titanium.
now I have a titanium heart.
Bulletproof.
Yeah, hell yeah, baby.
Now-
David Guetta.
It's so.
now if somebody aims for your heart, ooh, doesn't matter. You don't even have to dodge.
Did you just name Titanium by David Guetta?
It's not David Guetta.
It's
No,
not
it's
David
not.
Guetta.
Whatever.
No,
Oh,
Isn't it featuring David Guetta? I thought it was.
I don't think so.
here's another quick LA.
I actually don't know what David Guetta plays or does. or who they are.
Here's another LA.
I think his name slipped into your head because I was talking about it earlier.
Here's another
Oh, that
LA
might be
tidbit
why.
for you, Ian. While we were doing nationals, there was a children's cheerleading competition going on.
Really?
A
No!
cheerleading worlds for children.
That's
And there was a team named Titanium, and I really wanted to get a picture for
let's
Ian.
go.
But it was also way too creepy to try and take a picture of
Bro, how-
little kids cheerleading.
Yo, how'd they do?
And I don't know. I have no clue.
You didn't even stick around for the performance?
No, again, every part of it was creepy. It was so wild to me that we had this huge convention full of just
Digimon players?
and One Piece players, which is so much worse,
Ugh.
and Dragon Ball, and then just little girls cheerleading.
And what's your opinion on Dragon Ball players?
You know what? They actually segregated them.
What?
One Piece, Digimon, Battle Spirits, and
the Dragon Ball Battle Fest, right?
and the
Like,
Union Arena were all in one room, and then Dragon Ball was in its own room.
Let's go.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Exclusivity.
Yeah.
I actually like the Dragon Ball card game a lot when I played it.
I do think I've always thought that like there's few things that say more about how a game is like considered like tier list wise in the community than where it's played. You guys, anyone who cares about fighting games will know about this, but I know you guys aren't as invested in fighting games.
Not at all.
Under Night in Birth is a fighting game that like is like it's good, it's popular, but it's definitely like a tier below a lot of like the big Arxis games or like Capcom games. And so in a famous tournament, they were like, we don't have space in the venue for Under Night for Eunice. And so they put it in the bathroom. And so all the Eunice players had to go to the bathroom to play on setups.
No.
And next to the guy taking a shit.
No way.
Yeah. And so they were like,
That's
okay,
unreal.
that's like our tier list of like,
Did they pay for a ticket?
yeah.
No No, dude.
Imagine showing up to.
You paid for the bathroom.
There were so few battle spirits at Nats. Imagine they're just playing battle spirits in the
Dude,
bathroom
are you
and walking in
kidding
with a 50 grand check.
Wouldn't you fucking but even in context of the Battle Spirits thing, because if you don't know, Battle Spirits Saga is an English release card game and it has like a cash prize pool for finals, and it was $50,000 for first place. There was like 14 players or some shit. Right?
No, there was more than that for sure. But when I was in line,
You only saw 12 people in line.
I only saw 12 people in line, and the One Piece line was going around the block.
Dude, because that's the thing is there's not a lot of people playing. If there's not a lot of people playing, if there's a ton of people playing and the cash prize is 50 grand, you're like, okay, someone's gonna get it, but like it's okay if I don't. You know, like I want it, but there's so many people here, it could go to honestly anybody.
Yeah.
When there's like 15 guys, you're like, I'll beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
For this.
No, that's
like let's play right now. I want battle royale style. I'm sitting at the top with the 50K check.
That's very real. Like when I see a tournament, that's part of the reason I want to go to in-person tournaments. Is like only 125 people showed up. There's no way I don't win this, right?
Yo, that's the thing, dude. When you're so much more vested in battle when it's like a countable number. You're like when you can visualize the amount of people. You're like, I could win this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could go.
What's funny is realistically, the amount of rounds you play barely changes.
Yeah, because it's a doubling effect.
Many of the people that are there are gonna have zero impact on you.
No, it doesn't matter, but it's like it's still it's a mental thing where you're just there's less people, so you're like the competition's higher. It's like you ever play, dude. I'm telling you, man, Fortnite. You get down to the last 10 people left, you're like, I'm gonna fuck up whoever I see immediately. Like they're dead on sight.
You really fall into this battle royale rabbit hole.
Wait, you're saying something different than what I thought. You're saying that as you get to the lower numbers, the competition is more intense.
Yeah,
that's true. What I'm saying is that when you start off with lower numbers, I'm like, this is gonna be a joke.
Oh, like you can win? No, I just think that like you get so fucking heated. Like think about Battle Spirits. You're trying to get $50,000 and you're trying to win it, and you're trying to like do it off of like 1,000 people. But then you drop that number down to 10 and you're like, one of these motherfuckers is like, I'm ready to go right now. Let us play the game.
I'm so the opposite. We get down to 10 undefeated and I'm like, every single round I'm sweating. I'm so scared.
Good.
Like, one loss is just, it's over.
Because you're playing Digimon, dude. Real players are out here playing Battle Spirits Saga trying to earn their fucking children's college tuition, dude. And some people are living life to the extent, and you're sitting here trying to get alt-arts for fucking Magnadramon.
when there's 1,000 players, I'm like, I'm gonna roll up and face someone playing their pet Agumon / Leomon deck.
Beat the fuck out. Get him.
And I'm like, this is gonna be easy. If you told me there's only 10 players undefeated left in the tournament, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna lose the next round most likely. And that's the difference between like the large number of people to the small number of people.
You really you don't have enough faith in yourself, dude. You gotta be you gotta see 10 people in front of you. You gotta say, I could take 10 people.
No, because 10 people is what? Like,
that's a cheerleading team.
That's another 3 rounds. 10 people is another 3 rounds if you don't have like if you have like draws.
Yeah.
3 rounds is a lot can go wrong in 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Bro,
but I'm the best there is.
Did I tell you guys the story about my buddy Drew?
No.
He's so sick. We showed to a Bushiroad event for like at the time they were running like 4 card games. Fucking crazy shit. Anyways, so we're signing up for Vanguard, and my buddy Drew looks at the other line for Luck and Logic, which is this like other card game. Don't look into it. It's kind of weird, but the mechanics were fun. He's like, yo, we used to play this. I know the rules for this. I have a deck. What do I get if I win? Oh, a free trip to Japan. Well, there's 9 people in line. So sure. So he signed up for it. And he won 3 rounds.
No, he didn't.
And then it wasn't until his 3rd round where his opponent was like, yo, you have a banned card in your deck.
Oh.
And he's like, what? I haven't played this game in like 8 months. So he was like,
they're giving away a flight to Japan and they didn't deck check people. And
not until the 9 people. No,
check.
he made it. No, someone recognized it later into his games. I guess that's the thing, is because it was such a whatever thing.
Yeah, but listen, if I'm one of 9 people who entered this tournament, I would hope I knew the banned cards list.
Bro. I would hope that the TO would deck check. You only have 9 decks to check.
Yeah,
dude. just the fact that he made it that far, and we were like, oh my god, dude, he's going to Japan. He's gonna do it, and he comes back, and he's like, and we're like, dude, did you like what happened? How was your round? And he's like, oh no, I got like disqualified. I got DQ'd. And we're like, what? What do you mean? He's like, I had a banned card in my deck. So funny. But yeah, my friend almost went on a trip to Japan, but
We
should have
got
checked the
way
bans.
off the rails, eh?
We've kind of gotten into talking about scams and tough jams.
Sure. Let's
Give
talk about how much Ian has scammed other Digimon players.
So-
Let's talk about how much Ian has scammed me. He acts like he's my friend, but then he keeps Mirage Galgamon Altarts in his binder, Metal Greymon
You're
player
very
Altarts in my
upset.
binder.
I got.
Dude, he's helping you pay for your wedding.
I spend no, but the problem is that I'm paying premiums to get these cards, and then I'm going through Ian's binder and I'm finding them, and he's like,
Dude.
"Yeah, you can take them." I'm like, "I already have."
I
my
I brought you a Zudomon from Japan. Why
Yeah.
are you not happy?
Bro, wait a minute. Are you kidding? You said
I can't play with
hold
it.
on. I'm trying to wrap this. He's saying, "Hey, I'm not going to give you this card. I don't want you to. Don't buy this card.
He's
you need
not
to
saying
save for your
that.
wedding." Yes, he is.
He's not telling me about it.
Subliminally, he's saying it. You're not listening to
It's
him
in the back.
because you're
not-
going out anyways and buying the fucking card.
No, you've done enough talking. I think it's time you start listening.
Listen to what Ian says to you. He's a very
I
sensible
speak with
gentleman.
my eyes.
Yeah.
Ian, did you listen to our last
Oh, good. It's getting even more masturbatory.
the last podcast where we had the guests on?
Yeah,
You listened to it?
yeah.
Okay, I was worried you're gonna.
When
be
are we
ups-
gonna have a 5-man? Huh?
We actually talked about that. Briefly.
When's the 5-man
We
happening?
talked
Huh?
about it. It'd be so chaotic.
We're doing it in Texas, right?
No, they gotta come here.
So Nolan actually hit me up and told me that it's been sold out for over a month. Like apparently it went on sale before Nationals even happened, and no announcement was made, and it sold out. And
That's
it's so
rough.
upsetting.
For what?
Let's talk about
Me,
something
me
really
and
quick.
Noah, we're talking about going to a tournament in Texas to hang out with Security Checkpoint,
And also play
more,
Digimon.
and also to win a local. You know.
That's serialized Omni. Let's talk
God,
about something really quickly.
What?
Sure.
Bandai has been lowering the caps for tournaments.
By how much?
It's at 384 now.
Instead of
that
512?
So lowered by about 128. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weren't there a lot of empty spots at a couple of the past ones though?
I think that's what it is.
Everybody's
like,
playing
Yeah,
One
but there
Piece now.
should be like I actually never want a tournament to reach cap. It should always be like, hey, if somebody shows up day of, they should be allowed to enter.
agreed.
Fair enough.
And
Right.
so now they're capping it at 384, and people are not happy. They want to play Digimon and they don't get the chance.
It's
to.
really interesting that they chose to do that as soon as the game got good.
As soon as we exited BT12.
It
Yeah.
is weird because we did kind of come off a not stellar year of Digimon.
The worst shit ever.
It wasn't the worst.
Just say it.
No, I think
Just
the
say it.
BT9 year was pretty bad.
Okay.
Is that not
but
the
here-
same? We're not talking about the same thing.
We just came off of BT11.
Dude,
to
how long have I been
BT13.
playing
No,
Digimon?
no, Jeremiah, we've been living, yeah, I don't think this was the worst year, but we were, I'd say till the end of BT12, I felt we were living in the BT9 era. I think BT12 is like the end of the BT9 era.
I agree.
And so it's like, okay, so we started in the BT9 era, and then we exited it, and then we stayed stagnant for 5 months. And then we like kept going. Like BT13 was long, dude.
BT13 was long.
Well, think about
the-
it. BT11 came out in February. BT14 came out in November.
Yeah.
Wasn't it BT8, EX2, BT9, and then there was another EX set, right?
EX3.
Was EX3 after BT9?
No, it was after BT10.
It was after BT10. So BT10 came out after BT9, like immediately?
Not immediately. We got BT9 in August and we got BT10 in October.
Yeah.
But then
okay,
BT
but that's only like a month apart. I thought that felt like such a longer distance.
But regardless, back to it. It wasn't a great year for Digimon.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I had a lot of fun in BT13, honestly.
You'll feel better about 2023 once we get into 2024 and we have 7 sets in the
Yeah.
course of a year.
We're gonna get to that too because BT15 is being released. Day of this recording, it's being released. Pre-released at least.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other can of worms. But what I wanted to say was we just came off a not great year of Digimon, and they're working to make a bunch of improvements. But at the same time that they're making those improvements and people are getting more excited about Digimon, they're making it so less people can play.
Dude, people, it's all about Union Arena. You goofball. What are you talking about? This digital monster shit. What is it? What a fucking Tamagotchi card
Guys,
game?
I don't want to play One Piece.
Dude, play Union
But
Arena.
One Piece is so like Bandai's like we love One Piece.
Dude, everyone likes
I
One
mean,
Piece.
it's a popular IP that's internationally popular.
I love One Piece. I really like the show.
It's just hard to love the game.
I just don't like the game.
No, I know it's
It's
really
alright.
bad.
It's not as like unique or interesting as Digimon, but it's got like value to it.
Its cards have value.
Unlike like Pokemon. Sorry for Pokemon players. Your game's not very good.
I was watching the.
It's so funny.
That was
listening
the
to everyone
best.
be quiet.
That was really
I was watching a tournament recently for Pokemon because it was on Twitch, and
Why?
I actually really enjoy watching Pokemon. It's same thing with Battle Spirits. I really enjoy watching it. I just don't really want to play it anymore. But it's super fun to watch.
You're wrong, dude. Battle Spirits is sick.
Yeah, it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, but how can you put Pokemon and Battle Spirits on the same same
I enjoy
wavelength?
watching Pokemon. I think the fact that I'm not the one that has to pick up the deck and shuffle it constantly makes me like
Dude,
watching Pokemon.
I can't believe, man. Yeah, it was like watching. Did I tell you guys about going? I went to another card shop. I saw Nick there.
Okay.
Saw him playing Yu-Gi-Oh. He was playing a deck that I was playing online in Yu-Gi-Oh. So it was great for me to like vicariously watch him play Yu-Gi-Oh in paper and then like announce the phases that he was doing his stuff in and shit. Where I'm used to like clicking buttons. Yeah, and then I was just like, dude, this makes me like enjoy watching people play Yu-Gi-Oh. But then I went and watched Yu-Gi-Oh on YouTube and I turned it off after like 3 minutes.
You know what else I really
It
enjoy
wasn't good.
watching? Magic.
I love Magic. I'll be honest. It's hard for me because I'm watching increasingly more Magic content, and yet whenever I think about playing it, I want to die.
No, I don't want to play it. I spent maybe an hour or two with you while you taught me how to play it on Tabletop Sim, and
Yeah.
I hated every second of it. But man, I enjoy watching it.
Well, I think it's the same situation that I have with as a Project M player, probably going to be ranked 4th in Ontario this season. I don't like Melee. Melee is a game with good bones, but not a large enough cast. Too many glitches. Its aesthetics are fine. I just think it needed
It's
a lot
not
of polish.
nearly as balanced as PM.
It needed polish. It needed love. It needed content. But then the issue is that Melee has a history, it has a lore, and that lore is so good.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you say, I want to play this better game that has worse lore versus playing this popular game that everybody knows the 20 years of history that have gone into making it as much of a phenomenon as it is.
We have PM lore, C&Ds, and Gimmer turning his back on us.
That pretty much is it. It's just it's just wording. The issue is that now Nintendo has sued everybody, so we're not special anymore. That used to be our claim to fame, was that Nintendo hates us.
Yeah. When you say not a large enough cast, do you mean not a balanced cast, or do you feel
Not a large enough balance cast is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I think the numbers that Melee has is a good enough size.
it's
I think Ultimate has way too many characters.
a good size. 26 is a good roster of characters. There's definitely quite a lot of clones, but 26.
Isn't there only 2 or 3?
So there's Roy, Ganon. Depending on how you want to count them, we've got Luigi.
I feel
we've
like
got,
Luigi's not a clone.
Well, that's exactly it. We got Dr. Mario. That's definitely
That's a clone.
That's definitely a clone.
So 3.
Fine. And then we've got Young Link.
Okay.
And then I'm running low on clones, but that's a significant enough amount of the cast
Do
to
you
be.
count Falco as a clone?
Oh, I should have mentioned him, but I don't. I think he's the most unique clone of the
You
clones.
think Falco is more unique than Luigi?
Yeah.
Have you seen Luigi play?
I know he plays wild, but I think Falco plays so meaningfully different. The existence of Laser alone is such a wild change in the character.
Compared to Fox with Laser?
Yeah, Fox's Laser is just damage over time.
Yeah, and Falco's Laser puts a little bit of hit stun out. And they've got different shines. But, I mean, Luigi's very meaningfully different than Mario.
Yeah, he is. I'm not trying to make a massive statement about these characters are better or worse. I just think that Falco presents a very, you know what, to be fair, Luigi does as well. The issue is that Luigi does it in Melee, but again, I look over at PM and PM Luigi does it better than what Melee Luigi does.
Yeah.
Whereas
Because
PM
they made
Falco-
the characters better.
PM Falco is already a finished, well-designed, distinct character.
Melee Falco?
No, but I'm saying PM and Melee Falco are both already finished and done.
Yeah.
And Luigi in Melee is still a little half-baked. So it's the things that are unique and interesting about him are cool, but it's not enough, and he's not good enough.
To be fair, they half-baked a lot of characters.
Yeah, and well, so that's really what I was starting with, was just the idea of like, depends what you want to say. 8 to a very generous claim would be 12 characters of like meaningful relevance in Melee, and realistically, once I get past 5, I'm like, okay, there's an affectation. You have to be like willing to take a tier list hit to play these characters. And I'm a big fuck the tier list, play who you want guy, kind of guy. But Melee, the lower tiers are very low. And like, you really have to be willing to say, I like the idea of this character more than I like performing in tournament. And that most games, tier list does not come up in that way that heavily.
No, it's more than just not performing in tournament. I like the idea of this character more than I like playing the game.
Yeah.
Because you're going to spend a majority of your game not playing it.
Yeah, you kind of have to throw away a lot of the fundamentals. I forget how I got into this.
It was something. We need like an editor.
I am that.
No, but we need someone like a third party.
I actually, so almost every time I see a good podcast, they do have somebody in the background who's just like, I'm gonna remind you of the stuff. I'm gonna be an audience member. Yeah,
that's what I love it when they're like, yo, Steve, pull this up.
Yeah.
Hey, pull it up, buddy.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Well, so I brought my TV. I was like, I got this set up so that way we can.
That's
be
not
like,
that's not another guy.
No, but
bring Mark.
We have AI.
Get Mark.
Alexa, show me Ian.
Alexa, show me
Theoboromon.
Okay, I was gonna say something more inappropriate.
What?
That's okay.
All right.
It's not that funny.
No, I don't remember what we were talking about either.
Anyways, the point is that it's playing popular game versus loved system.
Yeah.
As it relates to One Piece.
Yeah, I was just saying that like I know One Piece is gonna get love from Bandai, and like Bandai's been showing some love to Digimon, but it doesn't feel the same.
I will say, like, I got into Digimon because I was like, I had just come off of COVID or come off of like the pandemic, not playing a lot of card games anymore, because like the guys that I was hanging out with, they all kind of like fizzled, and like the game kind of fizzled in the community that I was at during the 2-year stint where we didn't go play. So, and then when I came back to Vanguard, like a lot of the players that I had like hung out with and like built friendships with weren't really showing up, and we were getting like a dwindling amount of people. So I was like, okay, what's a similar-esque card game, like Japanese card game, that actually has a lot of players and places to play? And I looked at Pokemon. That's why I don't like it. It's because I looked into getting into.
You tried it and you said this isn't for me.
It literally came down to like me booting up like the simulator and learning the rules and like playing a game of it and being like, this isn't worth it for me.
Pokemon Live or PTCGO?
It was TCGO.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be, no matter how you slice it, popularity is going to be a big thing that draws people into playing games.
It's so
Magic,
important.
that's how we got onto that.
Magic the Gathering?
Magic is how we got onto Melee.
But why?
Oh, sure.
Because I watch a lot of Melee content because of the lore. I watch a lot of Magic content because of the lore.
Oh, yeah.
And Project M is a better game, but doesn't have the lore. Digimon is in a lot of ways a better game. It's a different game. But I don't feel the lore in Digimon competitive like I can in Magic competitive.
So, like, the thing
what
is,
do you think I'd be ranked in Ontario for Digimon? You're ranked 4 for PM. What's my Ontario Digimon ranking?
I don't know. You're really just comparing against the Mississauga crew at this point, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, how do you stack up against Kiki?
Well, no, Ottawa, I think, has some good players, too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Me and Kiki are tied right now in official big tournaments
Okay.
that we've faced in actual placements. He blows me out of the water.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
there you go.
But I'm not saying that I'm number 1, but if I could be 4th in Digimon in Ontario, that'd be cool, too.
You might be. I have no idea. I have no concept.
Can we make a PR, please?
I actually think that PRs are great, and I actually think that like having a community PR would be really helpful.
Oh, let's make a community PR for locals.
For locals?
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Okay.
That's basically just the.
Can we make a PR for who spends the most at the store?
No. We should start tracking wins and just make a PR for locals.
I mean, you could just do that. You could just go through. You could make the PR from past records.
Yeah, I guess I could, but I don't go to Dark Fox.
Okay, well there you go.
Should we include that, or is Dark Fox too casual?
You probably have to include it.
Oh, that's upsetting. I don't go to Dark Fox. Oh, my MMR is gonna tank if I don't go to Dark Fox today.
I got into Digimon because I was like, what's a similar enough game that, like, gameplay wise, that also has like players and like good art. Like that's the stuff that matters to me.
Okay, now that you've
And
said
I
that,
just
how
what?
similar is Digimon to Vanguard,
Not at all.
gameplay wise?
Not at all.
Not too much, but the parallels were essentially like using cards as life points. So like and like stacking guys and
Oh, it really was just putting cards on top of cards. That's all.
and like you turn sideways to swing,
You
but you
tap.
can do it. You
But
can do it like
that's
you
every
do it
card
like
game.
individually. No, in a Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't turn sideways to attack. You just declare the attack.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
But that your turn's over right away, right?
I don't think
What?
there's a lot
no,
of
you get a main phase too.
I don't think there's a lot of
After you turn.
analogs, but it's fine. Like
Anyways, I saw enough parallels that I was like, I'm willing to try this game out. And I remember enjoying for the couple sets that I played in Japanese with like a couple of my friends. And so I ended up like pulling the trigger and playing the game. And I think that was a good way to like get into it. There's also a good way to like, get into or decide like whether or not you should get into a game, whether or not there's going to be an established player base that you're aware of. Playing Flesh and Blood was interesting. It was really fun to get into. Problem is, Ian and I were the only one that were like doing it at the time. So, and there wasn't really much of an established community.
or there was one, but it didn't advertise itself.
Yeah, we had heard from like some
Random
shop
shop, yeah.
some shop employees that they were saying like, we have some players, but like they're scarce. They don't show up, and we don't run an event for it.
Flesh and Blood has equipment, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have a leader. You are one character.
You are, the
and then you
character.
play action cards, in order to like take your attacks.
Yeah.
Real quick, Digimon has been introducing cards that are basically equipment.
Have they?
The new Ragnarlord cards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you use from hand. You put them under cards.
Yeah.
Yes, they definitely are. They're tribal exclusive equipment, which is
No, I think they're limited to levels or tribe.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not so bad. Well, I mean, I don't despise the concept. I think that like one thing that's always frustrated me is like if a rookie has a good inheritable, I'm like it's so annoying that I need to have it at the start of my stack. So it's like if I'm like okay, well I have one rookie. I'm gonna Digivolve it in the back first, and then I feel like I'm committed to that being my inheritable that I'm gonna have on my big stack.
You know what I'm thinking of right now, right?
What?
Some rowdy rocker up in here.
Oh my god. True. No, I'm thinking of like how it feels moot to be putting Digimon or like to try to innovate Digimon equip cards. I think for Ragnarlord as a flavor it works. I think I wouldn't like to see that design on most cards. The game is already built around like you're equipping yourself with evolutions in order to like get the effects that you want.
Yeah, but Ian just said sometimes you miss out.
Sometimes you miss out, but I think that's the nature of the card game, and that's what keeps the Digimon interesting. Because like, if you think about it, based on what the franchise is, sometimes you're going for an ideal evolution, but like you fuck up a little bit, and then you get like the wrong looking.
You turn into a poop.
Well, not in
Right.
the show, and I think
Not in the show.
I think a
but-
majority of the fan base has got to come from the show.
No, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, there's a gameplay reason as to why that like makes enough sense. But I think like the general goal is that like you can reinvent what a card is capable of by giving it new inheritables already, just by gameplay mechanics. You don't need to create a separate archetype of card like you would in Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh in order to reinforce or reinvigorate a card, like a specific design. Because you can fundamentally change cards even just by buffing their stats.
Yeah.
Maybe less to an extent in Digimon, but I think for a general idea in card games that equipment can be very impactful. And equipment-based strategies are very interesting, I think, from a gameplay standpoint. But then when you take a game that's already designed around the kind of an equipment style, gameplay loop, you're constantly building stacks and playing guys with the idea of giving them inheritables and changing what they do. It doesn't really make much sense to try to like innovate that kind of card design.
I get what you're saying. Like we kind of
know?
don't want to introduce like new card types that like change so many fundamentals of the game,
Yeah.
and like when you're expected to have cards in order to get their benefits.
Like I think thematically the Ragnarlord stuff makes sense, but I wouldn't want to see it reprinted and made into like an ace type thing.
Yeah,
Like, hey, you can just slide this under.
yeah, because it could be very easy for them to create like generic white card that's like hand to
X
memory.
antibody.
I was about to say
X
X
antibody.
antibody. It's inheritable blitz, but at least your deck needs to like be built around the idea of
God,
like
I
taking
fucking
advantage.
hate X antibody. I can't believe I was describing a card that I was like, you know what would be an awful card to exist?
It already exists.
I thought you were describing X antibody.
No,
I wasn't trying to. I was gonna say a 2-cost white option that just said gives inheritable like blocker. And so now this is just like an effect that everyone can get access to. But yeah, it does exist. It costs 0.
It's just like the thing is you could print something like that, but I don't
They
think
did
it's
twice.
well, it's true, but X antibody is really giving you like I don't know, a boon to playing like an amount of a card in your deck. Like I don't think it's giving you like just a strict benefit. It's not you're not giving something X antibody and being like, okay, now it's a blocker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, but that's
But-
exactly what we did with America.
Yes, it is. You're right.
That is
Yes,
exactly what
but-
we put it under Beowulfmon, went into Magnamon X and said, now it's a blocker.
Yeah. So I get it.
It's not.
I'm
the perfect
I'm
system.
just saying that like you need other things to do that with the X antibody rather than just being a card that does it, so it doesn't share the same design space. But the X antibody has always been a thing where I draw it and I'm like, oh, this costs 0. I guess I'll just slide this under my guy. I've never been like, all right, now let me carefully plan the X antibody. I've always just like drawn it and be like, oh yeah, I guess I can put
That's a
this on.
skill issue.
I mean, it's a skill issue, but it's just like something that since you're allowed to do it, like a lot of the time it's like, oh, I have a stack with like 3 guys with an X antibody and I'm on a level 5 and ooh, look, I have a level 6 X antibody into my hand. What are the chances that when I draw a card, ooh, look, it's an X antibody. I mean, just slot that. Ooh, that's real convenient. Put that on there. Boom, level 6. I have Blitz now.
Yeah, let's just put it out there. X antibodies, bad design.
Yeah.
X antibody
But-
really. X antibody as a card, bad design. I heard you on speaking with our guest hosts, and personally, I think that the idea of X antibody Digimon is fine. If I want to put Beelzemon X on top of Beelzemon, I don't have a fundamental issue with it. I think it's like kind of creating a 2-card combo, and it could help reinforce archetypes, and that's not necessarily great. But the
It'd be
idea
really cool.
of
It'd be really cool for Digiburst.
Sure. But the idea of being able to circumvent the need for Beelzemon in order to get Beelzemon X's when Digivolving effect is where I draw the line and say this is problematic and an issue.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think that there needs to be an associated cost if you're going to give some kind of powerful effect like a lot of the X antibody cards have.
Well, they just like should the X antibody be so easily accessible, and should it think about like insects and how much again green getting fucked. Imagine
When
think about-
attacking Digivolve?
when attacking Digivolve has always been like an insectoid type effect that's like
I think it existed in 2 sets. BT EX1 and BT7, right?
Yeah.
yeah, but that's like what it was, right? And they were like, nah, just give it to anyone that has a X.
You can't say that's what it
Just
was when
play
that's
it.
the last time we got a Tentomon.
Damn, bro.
Fuck.
L Tentoma.
Hell.
Green just getting fucked
You can't
constantly.
act like this
eh?
is a system they were supporting when they
No.
never ever printed cards again.
hate
Right?
Ten-
But it's
Tentomon.
just shit where it's like that again. It feels like a thing that's like cool when a tribe does it or like makes that their thing. But then you're like, nah, fuck it, go ahead. Like it feels.
Yeah, well, the tribe is X
less
antibody.
interested.
Yeah.
The tribe has X antibody, but that varies like 18 fucking decks, dude. That all play differently.
Yeah, they all play differently. They raise up in the back and swing for all your champions. Such diversity.
They involve different Digimon, okay?
Was it one of you?
Grandis and Warg are different decks.
Was it you who was saying to me that you respect Grandis because it was always straight up?
Yeah, he
Yo,
he's
Grandis-
got some fucking takes. He's like Grandis, so unique and special, so unlike
No.
where Garurumon.
No, dude. Grandis has always been based because like Grandis is up front.
No,
Grandis
he's
is-
not. You just
No.
like him because he looked like a big, strong
Yeah,
guy.
but he's up front about
what
it.
you're describing is the same thing as Ancient Greymon.
But Green's always been like a big beefy. First of all, I disagree because Ancient Greymon has the text on it or
That says
underneath
Greymon.
it that just says, you cannot interact with me. I'm annoying."
Just he's saying that it doesn't trigger options.
It
That's
says
what-
I'm.
know what he's saying.
Yeah, it says I'm annoying. Or
But the Grandis gameplay.
it
and
was
the
also
Ancient
running
Greymon-
delicate plan.
Yeah.
but yeah, but that's the problem with the delicate plan. You can't like put that.
It's also still just an OTK deck. Like I don't know.
It's don't get me wrong. I don't really like playing OTK. I played Grandis and was like, this is the most boring ass shit. But it did feel like this was the deck that like it felt like the identity belonged most to Grandis, being like the big fucker that swings in a bunch.
Why?
I don't know. It just felt like that's the only thing the deck did, or else it didn't do anything else. And it was like,
as
I
someone that
respect
wasn't around, like you weren't around for BT4 or BT5. Why do you
No.
feel like green was the color that does a bunch of security checks?
They were always battle focused, man.
Yeah, but
Always battle focused. Always
most
with
of the time,
set
Grandis
plus.
wasn't like they swung through you if they wanted to, but they didn't need to swing through a Digimon to get all their checks in. Like,
Yeah.
why is Grandis the one that deserves the OTK?
Because he's a big, strong guy.
I mean, I don't think OTK is that like interesting or like
It's not.
or like silhouette or what is it called?
But when it's green.
Solitaire.
Yeah.
But I just think that like it's either green or red. Like it's just a weird design space for what they've set up anyways, because red has been kind of like recently felt more destruction focused, I think.
He had Gaia Force for a long time.
I mean, it's just like it just feels more we're more about removing your guys right now than we are about like beating you in one hit. But maybe I'm wrong.
Those decks are just bad.
Yeah, I think
Any deck that focuses on
That's what I'm
removing-
saying. Dude, I love Gallantmon, man.
The reality is that
Terrible.
a majority of the time in Digimon, it's better to be proactive than reactive.
Yeah.
because
I
there's,
agree- I agree.
there's still very little instant speed. So
Dude.
being reactive doesn't work in our game.
Like, it's just so sad to see that.
Well, it used to be better to be reactive.
Was it?
Well,
When was it better to be reactive?
Well, Lord Nightmon.
You're saying because bringing out a Lord Nightmon second in
Right,
the
you'd
mirror.
be reacting to their board. But now we've hit a point where if you're reacting, you're dead. Like if someone
Yeah.
else raised up first, they probably won the game.
Yeah, I guess that's true. The issue is that pro action can take you from full to death now, whereas pro action before was like deal some chip damage and establish a board.
Yep.
And so yeah, reaction was better because you disassembled their board and they didn't have the pieces to disassemble yours.
Yep.
Okay, I get that. I do still think that like that's so far in the past at this point that I think of the
that's
game as being proactive for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I just said it used to be.
Yeah.
You just did the
In
thing
the in
that he
the in
says
the
you
old
do.
days, back when you were
Back when boxes were pink.
when boxes were pink.
I gotta say, BT4 Great Legend, the ugliest box design I've ever seen.
And yet the one you started with.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with it being pink. It's just like you couldn't really make out any of the Digimon on the front. It was all like a Gunimon, Flamemon, Ancient Greymon, and a bunch of like Rise Greymon. And it was just like
What are you trying to say?
it was a poorly designed box.
Ooh.
The art does not hit compared to the newer boxes that come out. They catch
It's a
my
nice
eye.
art.
I think next.
I just got
Adventure-
excited because there's more Diaboromon art.
Well, yeah, the Dioboromon pack, BT17 pack looks so cool.
Yeah.
Bro, BT7 Next Adventure was the most confusing set for me. Because, like, I had known that it was the hybrid set. So I'm looking through, I'm seeing all the Frontier guys, and I look at the cover, and I'm like, it's Metal Greymon. What the fuck? Like, why is Metal
Yeah.
Greymon on the front? And then I see the shitty, like, alt art of Metal Greymon. Actually, that alt art's okay, but, like, the card itself is doo-doo ass. So I'm like,
The card was the pack art.
I
The
know
alt
it
art was
was,
the pack
I
art.
know it's because the pack art's like fine, but I was like, why is it Metal Greymon? Why is he so integral to the identity of this booster set? And the
Greymon
truth
sells
is,
packs.
he's not. But we're gonna put him there,
It's such a bad card. I don't think it's ever been played
dude. It's
in a
just.
good
But think
deck.
about the nostalgia that people have now for Frontier. A lot of people like me grew up playing Frontier or like watching Frontier. What was so bad with you putting a Susanamon on the
I
front
think
of it?
Frontier came out in like 2004.
I know, man.
How old are you?
Well, how old am I?
How
Or
old were
How old
you?
were you?
How old was I
Oh
when
my
I
god, you
watched
really
it?
are bad at math.
Probably like 8.
You were
I didn't-
8. So you were born
2000. Sorry,
in
2004.
I was gonna say, what the fuck? No way you were.
It
eight.
definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't airing in 2004.
I don't know about English.
I'm more
In
invested in the fact of like, do you not know how old you were in 2004?
No, I know how I was 5.
Because you said 8 very confidently, and I
Well,
was like, I was 8.
I remember that era of like knowing what Digimon was.
Well, that's
'Cause
what I'm saying. Did you grow up with it? Because I feel like I didn't watch Data Squad until I was like 12, and I think it came out way before
dude,
that.
you're fucking old. You're a Digimon Zoomer.
Why am I a Zoomer? That's the
Because
young
you
one.
started with Data Squad at 12.
Yeah.
Us real ones start with Frontier 8.
Damn, us real ones started with the Digimon movie, dude.
That's actually pretty legit.
I
Did you know that I watched Digimon the movie before I I watched a couple of these like episodes on a VHS tape, and
Yeah.
then I went and watched Digimon the movie and was like, huh, these guys look cool.
I'm pretty sure Digimon the
didn't get
movie
it.
was
Came out
my
first,
first exposure
yeah.
to Digimon.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like a lot of kids grew up like knowing exactly Digimon the movie and didn't know there was a show.
And the
Yeah.
funny thing about Digimon the movie is, as kids, well, at least me, I don't know about you guys, I was not appreciating any of the music that was in Digimon the movie.
Oh, you mean
Dude,
like the
when you're
Less
a
Than
kid-
Jake and all
no,
that?
Yeah.
Yo, when I was a kid, as soon as I heard All My Best Friends Are Metalheads by Less Than Jake,
Yeah.
when I got my first iPod, that was like one of the first songs that went on there.
So you're a fan.
Oh,
You're a diehard.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. I
good songs.
I
man.
also didn't recognize, like, I didn't appreciate the music for what it was, but I love that it exists.
Yeah.
Dude, Digimon the movie, one
It's
of the
kind of like
best
Shrek.
things.
What do you mean? Like it gained cultural value over time?
No, just like it had so many like
Oh,
such
so
good
many hits,
music in
yeah.
it, yeah. And it's like as a kid, you liked the music, but you didn't like
No.
know.
As
Oh,
a
by the way,
kid,
as a quick aside, because
you-
me and Jeremiah talked about it. We're committing. I'm committing now. I'm calling our shot. When it comes out, we're gonna do a Digimon the movie review episode when the English cut comes out in 2024.
Oh, I'm so
Okay.
gassed. I'm so excited for it.
When is 2024?
Guys,
when in or when is?
to
when
all
is-
of our
It's right now.
Oh wow, it's right now, guys.
to all of the followers, if you have not
Hey,
seen
Julian.
the if you have not seen the Digimon movie English dub, the English Digimon movie, just go watch it.
In
Yo,
Japanese.
look-
Please
it's-
look up Angela Anaconda Japanese dub.
Angela Mon.
Angela Mon.
It's you just have to experience it. Did you see?
Did you hear?
Did you know it was coming? All right, we should end the episode there.
I was gonna say. All right. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do.
I
a
love Ty's mom.
hold up.
She's so funny. She's
Oh,
so
that's what you
funny.
meant. I thought this guy was like, "Damn, Ty's mom's so thick."
No.
Dude, I can't wait
No.
to clap those milkshakes, those fucking
That
those
too.
veggie shakes.
Too far. Too far.
Dude, to be real though, I could fuck with the potato shake she was making.
It's
It's
vegan.
vegan.
I wish
vegan.
I woke up with a Koromon under my bed. I'd be so sick.
Dude, and then he jumps out of your apartment, and then he turns into a big dinosaur and jumps out of your apartment and almost kills your little
out of a
sister.
vending machine.
Guys, he's just like me.
Causes thousands in structural damage.
Just
But
one
I
each.
got a Pepsi.
And Car's just like, we gotta pay for those, Agumon.
Agumon.
I don't know. I'll be honest. In the English dub, I'm gonna swing for the fences. In the English dub, the Izzy Ty scenes, there's some good jokes. I
They're
think
so funny, dude.
I kind of into it.
Wait, what?
He's like, "What's a semiconductor?" It's like, is that a guy who works part time on a train?
That's so fucking.
There
That's
was
so
there's a
good.
joke like that in The Office about an engineer.
Oh, really?
Dude, the English dub of Digimon, like originally, because they weren't confident in it going anywhere.
No.
So they're like, let's just fuck around on the vocals.
Those are the best shows, though.
Dude, have you guys seen the Duel Masters pilot?
No.
No.
Oh,
the
it's
fuck?
so fucking funny. They like it's just a shitpost the whole time. And actually, the main character is voiced by Ty. We should watch it.
All right, we can check it out.
Let's check it out.
For right now,
Show
I think that's been all that you'll hear from us at the Errata Sonata on this somewhat off-topic, off-kilter episode. Although to be fair,
we were talking
I'm
about-
pissed. I'm pissed because of my TV, and so this is my episode
I'm
to be
pissed
angry.
that I have to go to pre-release alone.
I might come. We'll talk about it off pod.
It's at 1:00. It's so late. I
That-
won't tell anyone what time zone it is, so they can't show up.
I won't go.
All right,
You-
thanks.
You never go. You're a
This guy's a
boring
hater.
person.
I'm lifting.
If you're a fan of the Errata Sonata podcast, please show up at 1 p.m.
I won't be there.
Eastern Savings Time.
It's just savings.
All right. I think that's all from us.
No, please leave a comment
Oh, actually, yeah. Do we?
or email us at. You know what? I don't remember what our email is.
You can
anymore.
check. You can check the description of this episode, and you'll find a link to our email, or you can leave a comment on whatever podcast app you're watching this on, and we'll be very excited to read it.
And I'm gonna shout out this one YouTube person who commented they could not wait for the next episode, and they were so excited to listen to it. And you know what? That next episode, 0 listens. So whatever happened to you, please come back.
All right, Noah, it's your turn. This is what I've decided. It's your turn up the bat, and we're gonna keep cycling. So
Okay.
what's our sign-off line? Hit us with it.
I wasn't prepared for this.
I know you aren't.
You get one.
You get one shot,
go, and then
one
you're done.
opportunity.
Okay.
Signing off for now. You've got Noah.
You got Ian.
You got Jeremiah.
Take care.